Your desires are divine, accept them. I want to talk about this because many times when people want to manifest something they question if it's possible or not, and that is what stumps most of them. In 100% of the cases, everyone thinks of the ways and means for it to happen and they get in their own way, or they try to settle for less or give up. I feel like some understanding of why you have desires and why they are meant to happen is the most important part of manifesting. In fact, in my opinion, understanding this made everything a whole lot easier for me. Your desires are divine, and I mean it, they are meant to be. You see, when you have a desire, it springs up from within you from the divine. You can choose to call it God speaking through you, your higher self, or something else that makes you feel comfortable. Now, once you have a desire, the only person that can get in the way is you and only you. There is really no opposition out there or some mighty force that will decide whether it is for you or will never be. I have had a lot of clients, including myself in the past, where I wanted a specific thing, but because that goal seemed too big, I would just try to convince myself to be happy by settling for something smaller. Only to realize the desire just never went away and I was just running from it and wasting time. That the only person who needed to get their act together was me. This reminds me of Neville's Barbados story. I know it has been talked about a lot, but the most essential part of this story for me is the fact that when Neville went to Abdullah, he said, "I do not only want to go to Barbados, but I want to go first class." Abdullah simply replied to him nonchalantly and said, "Neville, who said you were going to Barbados? You already went there and you went first class." This part is often overlooked by many, but I believe it is very interesting. At least for me, it made me accept my desires instead of judging them or conditioning them. Abdullah did not say, "Well, fine, you get to go to Barbados, so make peace with the fact if it is first class or not." No, instead, when he heard Neville express that he wanted to go first class, he said, "Fine, you went to Barbados and you went first class." He did not ask him to settle for mediocrity. Someone asked me, what does it mean to condition your desires? It means that you do not accept them as they are and settle for less or something else because they seem too good to be true. I believe every desire is there for a reason, so we can experience it here on earth. And if it were not possible for the desire to manifest, you would just not have it in the first place. This is why the understanding of creation is finished is so important. Because whatever it is that you desire is already created and exists as a full possibility. It is just not tangible yet because you do not accept it. When you sit down and assume how it will happen and wonder about the things that may go wrong, or you worry about what happened in the past, you just create different obstacles and delays in the way. So whenever I have a specific desire, I accept it wholeheartedly. I am at a point where I do not have to need to use tools like different techniques. I only remind myself that, hey, you want it? Well, then it means it is done, because the desire is coming from within me only to be fulfilled. God does not give you desires only to dangle a carrot in front of your eyes or make you wish for that happily ever after and never get it. No, no, no. That is not true, and the only person that can get in the way is you. Things do manifest effortlessly without any work when you understand the origin of desires and how all of this works. To make it simple, just know what you want is meant to be expressed. It has a purpose and it is taken care of. It is a cue into your life's upcoming attractions. You must have seen many coaches also say, hey, manifesting is so easy, but for people who have not applied this law enough, ask me, why do they say it is effortless? That is because we have seen it work over and over, that it is a natural phenomenon. That when you have a desire, it means it is done. You just need to let it happen. Your God self gives you these desires as gifts. You see, life would really suck if you had desires but they were never meant to be. But no, the good news is, the desires come up only to be fulfilled. Is it not exciting to know when you have a desire, to see it in a way like, a nice, this is what is coming up for me? You have desires because God or your higher part of you is speaking to you to go for them. It is just a glimpse into your upcoming future. You have the desire to drink water because you feel thirsty, and the next thing you know you get up and grab a glass of water and satisfy your hunger. I know that's a mundane everyday example, but that is how all the things you have been experiencing so far have been happening. These things happen naturally, so you do not even see them as the next logical step to happen in your future, because getting a glass of water is no biggie to anyone, but you see it's just so normal and natural for you to have it. You do not get in the way by wondering things like maybe water is not meant for me, etc., etc. Why do I think this part of accepting desires is so important? Because many people when trying to manifest keep thinking, what if it is not meant to be mine at all? What if I should go for something else? If they understand that the reason a desire is springing up within them is for a divine reason and greatest expansion of all, then they too would wholeheartedly start accepting them. I can elaborate further on this topic, but maybe for next time. In short, let me say, after having talked to hundreds of people and seeing them come to me with the worst circumstances and desires, when I see them go through the process and finally fulfilling them, I have always had them come to me and tell me how this is the best thing to happen, not just for them but because it blessed their partner or other people involved. Your desires are mutual and very much valid and meant to be. Like you must have heard the famous and most favorite saying by Rumi, "What you seek is seeking you." All right, happy manifesting.